Welcome, my children. Tonight, I have a story for you that will keep you awake all night. A story I heard while traveling through America in 1981. This is a tale set deep in the forested regions near the Canadian border, where fear becomes reality. It was late summer, and I was journeying through the rural parts of New England. One evening, in a small village near the Canadian border, I heard a terrifying story from an old hunter in a local bar. The story was about a family living deep in the woods, far from civilization. A family that was not only mentally ill and depraved, but also cannibalistic. They hunted anything that moved, including people. Many had disappeared in those woods, never to return. The old man told me about the most recent case that sent chills down my spine. Two young hikers, Tom and Lisa, decided to embark on an adventure through that forest. They were experienced hikers, but they were unaware of the danger lurking there. Their goal was to take a shortcut to their destination, but they ended up taking a wrong turn. It almost cost them their lives. "Tom, are you sure this is the right path?" Lisa asked, glancing at the maps and the GPS that was losing signal. "I'm sure, Lisa. This is the shortest route to our destination. We just need to keep going," Tom replied, not noticing the warning signs hidden behind the overgrown bushes and thorns. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the atmosphere grew more eerie. The trees were dense, and sunlight barely penetrated the canopy. The air was cold, and the silence was ominous. After a few hours of walking, they came across an old, dilapidated cabin that looked like something out of a nightmare. The wooden planks were rotting, the windows broken, and the yard littered with trash and animal remains. Tom and Lisa decided to approach, hoping to find someone who could help them get back on track. "Tom, I don't think this is a good idea," Lisa whispered, feeling a cold shiver of fear on her neck. "We'll just ask for directions, Lisa." "It'll be fine," Tom said, trying to sound brave. They knocked on the door, but there was no answer. The door slowly creaked open, revealing the dark, musty interior of the house. They stepped inside, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. The inside of the house was even more terrifying. The walls were stained with blood, and the stench of decay filled the air. On a table were jars filled with gruesome contents, body parts of animals and humans. Lisa covered her mouth to keep from vomiting. "We need to get out of here now," Lisa whispered, tugging on Tom's sleeve. But before they could leave, the door slammed shut and figures emerged from the shadows. It was the deranged family, wild and filthy, with eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. Their leader, a large man with a wild, graying beard and a bloody butcher knife, stood before them. "Where do you think you're going?" he growled, grinning wickedly. Tom and Lisa tried to fight back, but the family members quickly overpowered them. They were tied up and taken to the basement, a dark, damp place filled with bones and remains of their victims. "Tonight, you'll be our dinner," the leader said, laughing maniacally as he left the basement. Tom and Lisa were terrified. They had to find a way to escape before they became the next victims of this twisted family. As they struggled to free their hands, they heard eerie sounds above them, the creaking of floorboards, footsteps, and the agonizing cries of other unfortunate captives. "We move as soon as we're free," Tom whispered, trying to stay calm. He managed to free his hands and helped Lisa. They moved quietly through the dark basement, searching for an exit. They found old stairs leading to the ground floor. Each step was a silent prayer that no one would hear them. When they finally reached the ground floor, they saw the family leader preparing the table for dinner. They did everything they could to avoid drawing attention and headed toward the exit. But just as they thought they were safe, one of the old floorboards creaked under Lisa's foot. The leader turned, his eyes blazing with fury. "You can't escape!" he snarled, advancing toward them with the knife. Tom and Lisa ran through the hallways, dodging through dark rooms and avoiding obstacles. Their hearts pounded in their chests, and adrenaline gave them the strength to run faster than ever. They reached the back door, but it was locked. Tom desperately searched for the key while Lisa tried to keep the opposite door closed. Finally, he found the key on a table and unlocked the door. They burst out into the cold night, fleeing through the forest. They ran as fast as they could, not looking back until they reached the first signs of civilization. They found a road and continued until they reached the nearest village, where they were finally safe. The story of their experience became a local legend. The family in the woods was never found, but many believed they were still out there, waiting for new victims. Children were warned never to venture deep into the forest, and adults avoided that area like the plague. And so, my children, that's the story of the twisted family that still lurks in the woods near the Canadian border. Or so the villagers say. Let this story be a warning never to stray from the beaten path, for you never know what awaits in the darkness. Until the next story, like, share, and subscribe. Greetings from Grandpa Avram.